Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm the other guy, Marc Bernardin.
Hey,
Oh,
welcome back, my friends. Friday night. Those of us ain't got nothing better to do. Fucking, let me see. When I was 13, Friday night, I'd be going to Trade Winds, fucking non-alcoholic teen dance night, dancing
interesting.
to do bass, do do. So that was when I was 13. So that would be 41 years ago, Mark.
Wow.
As the For some reason that was the poll that I went to.
Trade winds.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have gone to a roller rink, I think like 12, 13 years old,
Couple skate,
you know, or lots of single dudes skate wishing it was couple skate. And like the two or three guys who like
master skate.
just palm sweaty, master skating, like, and the couple of dudes who had the frilly Prince shirt who were rocking the full on purple
Like the
rain.
puffy.
Yeah.
Dearly beloved, we've gathered this day to get through this thing called life. We've gathered here today to get through this thing called life. We have gathered here today at this roller rink to get through this thing called all skate. There's roller rinks still, right?
I mean, there used
There's one out here.
is there?
At
I haven't seen
Moonlight
one
or
in a
something like
long
that.
fucking time.
I went, I want to say I went a few years ago, but it was the kid was like 5. So 21 years ago.
Mm.
I think Jason, though, has brought his kids. I think Jason and Logan have gone skating.
Hmm.
Never mind, man. Fucking all that, kids. Never mind the past. Fuck the past. We're not doomed to repeat it if we forget it. Let's live in the moment and talk about the future.
The future Conan?
Lots of shit coming, man. Lots of shit to talk about. Lots of things in the culture that pops. We lost some great people.
Mm.
We have watched some cool shows.
Indeed.
And here for Friday night, if you're like, man, I ain't got nothing going on. I ain't cool. I ain't, or fucking, I am cool. And that's why I got nothing going on. You got somebody to hang out with for a little while tonight, man. Me and Mark, fucking Banff, man.
Not cool.
Smack you across the face with the big floppy dick of pop culture. If that don't sound enticing, that don't make you want to watch this goddamn show.
Big flaccid penis up against your face.
This show don't happen in a vacuum, my friends. So
Mm.
before we get going, before we review things and do the news and eulogize and so forth and so on, we got to pay the bills, kids. And guess what, man? The good folks at Mando
Ando.
are helping out tonight. You know what I'm saying? Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers, kids. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use the code FATMAN, all one word, FATMAN, at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. Please support the show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. What can we say about Mando, kids? Mando makes products that I actually use. I take the Mando products, I put them on my body, put them on my butthole. I get fresh, I get clean and whatnot. It reduces or prevents natural sweat. They're not an antiperspirant, for heaven's sakes. Um, I'm about to go on the road, Mark. I don't know if you know this or not.
I've seen word. I've seen tell. The wind has told me.
Dogma, the resurrection tour. Not to do a commercial within a commercial. But I only bring that up because I've already packed my fucking Mando wipes, kid.
Hell
They're
yeah.
going on a road with me. My wife Jennifer was like, "Am I going?" I was like, "Ask me after I pack my Mando wipes because priorities." I says. What do you know about Mando? What do you
I
know
mean,
about Mando?
what you know about that Mando? I know Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. I know it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours, man. I know they got solid deodorant stick. I know they got spray deodorant. I know it's baking soda and paraben free. I know they got like a bunch of awesome scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. And I know it's clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone, man. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, that grundle odor goes down to 0 out of 10. And if you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, you can find them at Walmart, Target, other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com.
You're not kidding. You ain't kidding, kids. I was
No.
ready for that. The ball got handed back to me. Uh, Kids, I said it before, I say it again. I start the ad, I finish the ad the same way. Mando starter pack is perfect. Perfect for new customers. Comes with the solid stick deodorant, the cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes. I love them deodorant wipes. And free shipping, man. As a special offer for you listeners, new customers get $5 off the starter pack with the exclusive code, man. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use the code FATMAN, FATMAN, all one word, at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you, man. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. We thank the good folks at Mando for sponsoring the show. Hey, people, stop texting while I'm doing a fucking show. Put this in do not disturb mode. Now only certain people will be able to ding. All right. Kids, so much to talk about.
Indeed.
But can I do the one that's like fresh in my mind because I just finished it?
Sure, man. I mean, I was gonna say, how are you and how you doing? But
Look at you with the check-in. They used to do that at the booby hatch, man.
how you doing,
Every
man?
morning you did the check-in. So, you said your name, and you said your pronouns, and then you had to say how you were feeling. You could pick feelings from the wall if you couldn't express it yourself. That you had to do a body check as well. And then what else was there? Intention for the day, and then like a saying or some such shit. That was the check-in, man. So thank you for checking in. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm good. No complaints. Still trying to put our movie together, and if that's meant to be, that'll be. The Dogma tour, Dogma the Resurrection tour, sold incredibly well. So we added second shows all across the board. You can get tickets at dogmamovie.com. They're adding a couple more shows. So they added Pittsburgh and San Francisco, and then we're adding Denver and Burbank. Burbank. And then on June 5th, the movie just comes out everywhere in theaters everywhere and stuff. Apparently, Iconic Events, our partner, they went to what used to be called Show West, is now called CinemaCon. They took like a Buddy Christ cardboard cutout and stuff, and they said the exhibitor response to Dogma coming out June 5th was huge. Their tickets going to go on sale, I think, next week or this week or something like that. Yeah, next week for the June 5th screenings everywhere. It starts June 5th and then goes until people are like, we don't want this movie anymore. So it's not like one day you got to get out there and see it. But so that's nice. And meanwhile, you could be me right now if you wanted to. What the fuck are you doing watching this show unless it's a second screen? Because right now you could be in Call of Duty being Silent Bob, dude.
That when I saw that trailer, it was somehow both the oddest cross section of things that I'm interested in, but also knowing Jay, it's like, oh, this was just a matter of time.
You can't separate him from that game. He's playing with himself in a different way than he normally does. Look at that, man. Look at It's crazy. They scanned us in, scanned our costumes in. Movement's nuts. Somebody had a video up where like my character did a bicycle kick. They're like, can you do this in real life? I'm like, no. Look at us running around. If you ever wondered, like, hey man, when's Call of Duty jumping the shark? Well, you just saw it, Jay jumping over. I saw some folks online being like, why on earth would they do this? I think it was just to make two old men happy.
Sometimes that's enough.
You can get it right now, the whole package, man, the skins and a mission and stuff. Um, Over at the Call of Duty website or wherever you get your games,
Mhm.
downloadable content for Call of Duty and stuff. Very, very cool. I went to pick up drugs today.
Mhm.
My dealer, CVS. And so I'm at the counter to pick up my Berlinta, my heart medication. I was like, I need my Berlinta. And the guy behind the counter was just like, I was just playing you before. And I was, oh, Call of Duty. He said, yeah, Call of Duty. I said, all right.
I played you, son.
He did. I was like, you played yourself. Um, what else is going on? Just working on stuff, spinning them plates, trying to figure out where the next meal's coming from. How about you?
Um, a bit similar. I mean, I don't have a movie going on tour. I've sold no tickets to anything for anybody, other than occasionally for you. And I'm like, what are you doing in like 2 months? Go see fucking Dogma.
Yeah.
I do that to people on the street,
Thank you.
passers-by.
Word of mouth. That's how it's
Word of
going to work.
mouth. Every little bit helps. I'm working on a television program, and I'm currently just finished my outline for my episode, and I'm being kicked off to write my script. I cannot say what the show is yet because, you know, there's security is a thing that's on everybody's mind these days, and it's one of those shows that people may or may not be interested in. So I've been busy in the room, busy on the ones and twos, busy on the keys, making shit happen. Um, I got a new car, which is always fun. Um, I got in there before the tariffs made everything super fucking expensive. So I'm like, now's the time.
Did you buy or do you lease?
I lease. My accountant was like, you should never buy another car.
I agree.
He's like, you like having a new car every 3 years? Great. Do you care if you don't own it? No. Then you should lease. It's a better tax write-off. Like, okay.
Same, son.
But I've got myself one of them battery powered cars, one of them EVs.
Not the controversial one, I'm sure.
No,
Either
no.
that or it was so low price, you're like, can't
I
fucking pass
mean, they gave it away.
it up.
We'll pay you $100 a month if you drive this around.
So now you have to plug in the car every night. That's something you're not used to.
Not quite every night, because I don't. My daily drive is not that much, and it's basically like you got a tank of gas and like 300 miles, 350 miles or so, and so it's just I got to be more mindful of shit than I used to. There's no like on a whim, just like let's drive up the coast to Carpinteria and just see what's happening up there.
Yeah.
It's now, oh shit, all right, I gotta be sure that it was charged the night before. I gotta plan. I gotta make sure there's chargers up there. I gotta know shit when I didn't used to have to before. But
That happened to me when I was on tour a month and a half, 2 months ago with Jay. At one point, I broke off and I went to Jersey for the
mm,
weekend to do for the Super Bowl to do Wicked screenings. So I rented a car and I rented a EV. And normally, if I'm in Florida, every once in a while, I've had like a little EV and stuff. And getting from the airport to my mom's and back to the airport, I've never had a problem. I was driving from Jersey to Washington, D.C., and the car ran out of battery. I had to find like, a charging station, but it
mm.
was one of those slow ass, like, you might as well plug it into, fucking your cigarette lighter charge. Like I sat there for an hour and it gave me 5%, just enough to get to a far better charging station. And at that point, I was like, I get it. And I understand there. I'm not saying like, I fucking love gas or drill, baby, drill, but I ain't ever being trapped like that again. That was weird, man. because like it wasn't just you can go fill up anywhere. You had to find very specific place
Hmm.
to go plug in. And the car was helpful with it. The car could suggest where to plug in, but it's like if the suggestion is farther than where I could go and shit. And yeah, it was. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was a nightmare. It was a first world problem at
Yeah.
max, but it did make me go like, I respect the electric vehicle, but not for me, man.
Yeah. Spontaneity is not in the cards anymore.
Not
Uh,
with that. I
not
mean,
with
you
that.
might as well drive a golf cart, which I love a golf cart. Don't get me wrong. Shit. I wish I'll leave this best of all possible worlds regretting the fact that I didn't have enough golf carts, movie studio golf carts, not golf. I don't fucking play golf. But, when we made Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, we had golf carts.
Mm.
That's measure of success in this town. I sound like an old man. We had golf carts back then, Mark,
That was beautiful. Those were the days.
because we were on a sound stage, on a lot. So it made sense and stuff. Most of the movies I make, we're out in the real world, don't require no golf cart. But that's why it'd be lovely to get a TV show. Never mind the money and the worldwide acclaim. You get to drive a golf cart every day.
Yeah. Especially the kind of show that you can shoot on a lot in Hollywood, California.
Oh, whose dick do I gotta suck?
Not like, hey, so we're in Prague now. Do you have golf carts?
Yes. Do you have a golf cart here? They're like, oh yeah. That's the thing. Most people be like, why don't you just skip the middleman, get a golf cart? You don't need a network to do that. It's true. When I'm down in Florida, man, where my mom lives, everybody got a golf cart and shit. You go down to the villages where all the old people fuck each other.
Yeah.
Nothing but fucking golf carts, man. I
My
don't
in-laws
butt
are in the
fucking golf
villages.
carts, but that sounds hotter than I meant it.
I know my in-laws are in the villages and they got a golf cart.
That's like when you go on a cruise and they put a pineapple on the door and shit. If you got a golf cart in the villages, that means you swing, son.
Yeah, it's like how much citrus is in here? God, you people are so fucking vitamin up.
Just I don't have regrets about life. I really don't. But I do. I don't like I work. That's why you see me so much, because it's not like I can like, and I made all my money on clerks and shit. Like I literally have to work and will continue working until the day I die. And no regrets, because at least I get to do what I do for a living, which has been fun. But if I had any regrets when I leave this world, Mark, it's that weren't enough golf carts in my life. Golf cart's like a go-kart when you're an adult. Same thing. Like when you're at the like, I was at Bullwinkle's and Upland and shit, and they had a golf cart course. And I was like, oh God, let's go do it. And Jennifer's like, you drove here in a car. Like you have a big boy car. A big boy golf cart is a car. Like, why would this fascinate you? I was like, I don't know. But it was a pretty fucking amazing track. That and when I was in Florida with my mom, I took her to this place called Deezerland, which has like a car museum attached to it. And they had a killer fucking golf cart track, but it was indoors. So guess what? Those golf carts were electric.
Wait, so okay, golf cart or go kart?
I'm sorry. Now I'm mixing the two up. Go kart. The
Okay.
go karts were electric. Most golf carts are electric, but the go kart,
Ooh.
they were all electric. So we were indoors, and I was like, "How come it don't smell like gas?" And my mom was like, "Oh, Tiger, they're probably electric." And I was like, "Why do you know that before I do?" Shit, you're 79 years old. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know why. I
I mean,
love
I get
golf
it.
cart.
I get it because it is, as you say, it is the childhood fascination with just like I can get in. I don't need a license for that. Like
Yeah.
they'd let me drive that. I don't got to. There's no government authority over me in this golf cart.
And then you add movies to it too, because it's just like, oh, we get to drive this around the lot because
Mhm.
we're here making a movie or a TV show. Oh, there's everything.
We can go anywhere. There's places we can get in this golf cart you can't get in a car. All right.
Pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Um, all right, man. So, oh my God, Team Dreg in chat just said, anybody in chat check out the Sinners tweet with Ryan Coogler breaking down all the formats available to watch. It was pretty dope. And a film geek fix. Mark was just literally talking about that before we went.
Yeah. I mean, I love Ryan Coogler. I'm not saying that like it's a thing I'm coming around to. Like I'd had an opinion before, but this shifted me. I've always appreciated that dude.
Yeah.
Like so fucking smart.
Fruitvale Station forward, man. Everything.
Yeah, everything. Like he has
You
not.
don't miss.
um, so you've seen some shit, huh? We've all seen some shit.
We've seen some shit.
No.
Watch the news, you see some shit. But this ain't even the news, man. Sometimes the news gets depressing, so you're like, I need to escape, and so I turned to the Black Mirror, the ultimate joy.
No.
Black Mirror season, I guess maybe 7 it is.
I think it's 7.
6 brand new episodes that they put up on Netflix. And oh my Lord. Charlie Booker.
Yeah.
Just, a modern day Rod Serling doesn't even do him justice, man. It's like one of my favorite games to play is to try to guess how this episode of Black Mirror is going to go south. Like, what is it? What's the hook? And I've never been able to do it. Never outguessed the storytelling. I mean, if you've not seen Black Mirror, where have you been? First season alone, they had the British PM fuck a pig in order to save a kid's life. That was an episode of television or stream.
That was the first episode of
that was how they announced their presence. Hi, we're the Black Mirror.
Pig.
This is the kind of stories we'll be telling. This season, 6 episodes, all strong. One of them is a sequel to the USS Callister episode from the last run or the run prior to that. And that's 90 minutes. It's its own fucking feature, man.
Damn.
But the of the 6, I would say as bleak as it gets is, I believe the episode is called Common People.
That is the one that I've
seen. Jones.
Yeah.
Is that Common People? Is that what it was called?
Chris O'Dowd. Yeah.
Chris O'Dowd. You once again, you watching it and you're going, maybe it's this, maybe this is what happens. You will have no fucking guess where the story winds up going. Just masterful writing, wonderful performances across the board, but like also so close to reality.
It's one of those, like, you'll never guess where it's going, but the minute it starts going there, you're like, oh shit. Yeah.
Because they use shit that's so commonplace to us now that you're like, oh my God, yes, this would be what would happen, because it already happens in other businesses and stuff. It is a gripping, depressing, bleak fucking episode of the Black Mirror, which is kind of like what they do, their normal stock and trade. But I would say this season, that was as absolutely horrifying as it got. Last season, they did a bunch of monster stories and stuff, which were fun. And then the emotional highlight, because periodically, just to prove that he's as talented as we all think he is, Charlie Booker writes an episode of Black Mirror that is not scary or depressing or sobering, and instead makes your heart soar, and hits emotional beats and notes very few other things can. True allegories of human connection and love told amidst stories of technology. And this season, I don't know what the name of the episode. Oh, it's called Eulogy with Paul Giamatti. Fucking emotionally devastating episode. Drink, hydrate before you watch, because you will be involved. Yeah, this continues to be some of the best storytelling, not just best streaming, but best storytelling. Yeah, they could have released that USS Callister thing as a movie. It was so fucking strong. And the third act is like Return of the Jedi. There's like 4 storylines crossing over, and including a space war. Like they really went for it, man. So if you haven't seen Black Mirror yet, kids, it's back. If you've never seen Black Mirror, come on. Go check it out.
Yeah. Also, if you've never seen it, maybe don't do it all at once. Like, space that shit out. You can build in some recovery time.
Make sure you're in a happy place, because they're going to rob you of it.
Speaking of shit on Netflix, Did you watch any of Black Doves?
No, what is it?
Keira Knightley, Ben Whishaw. It's a spy thing. It's a sort of espionage hitman, but it's great. It's really fucking excellent. It's like 6 episodes long. It
I
feels
think Jennifer watched it. She liked it a lot.
yeah,
What is it? Spy shit?
it's spy shit. Like Keira Knightley plays. I'm not going to spoil too much because I'm pretty sure it's in all the trailers. But she plays like the wife of a member of the British government who's got a couple of kids, who also happens to be a Black Dove, which is like a privatized espionage company that collects secrets and sometimes assassinates people and sometimes does James Bondy shit. Um, but she gets caught up in this whole fucking whirlwind of stuff, and Ben Whishaw is playing like the triggerman best friend she hasn't seen in like 7 years, and he swings back into her life. But the action is great. It's funny. It's sweet. Um, it's deeply tragic. Um, yeah, and it's 6 episodes, and it's in London during Christmas time. It feels like what if Shane Black was British and loved spy shit is how I felt about it.
Oh, really? It's that quick and fun?
It's super quick and fun. I'm not gonna say it's funny, but it's fun.
What else
It's,
did I watch? I watched Hacks came back, so I watched the first 2 episodes of that.
mhm.
Utterly charming and worth watching. What else did I see? Hey man, did you watch The Gorge on Apple TV?
I haven't. You like?
I don't sleep on The Gorge, man. Like it's crazy because like I watched the trailer and I was like, all right, fucking this looks kind of mindless. They did a really good job. You know who did it? Is
Scotty Derrickson.
yeah, fucking our boy who directed the first Doctor Strange movie and
Hmm.
amongst other things. It's really well done. Really well done. Enjoyable as fuck, man. Like I going in, I was like, well, I guess it's a two-hander and they're gonna fucking make it work and shit. But this is totally fucking like watchable, man. I was like really delighted by that shit.
Nice.
Reacher, the most recent season was
Hmm.
wonderful. I just finished that a couple weeks ago.
I
Um,
don't think I loved it as much as you did, but it still scratches an itch.
do you remember season two?
I do.
I liked it far better than season two.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll watch him do anything, particularly play Batman. Hopefully they give him. What else did I watch? I'm trying to think.
Are you caught up on Daredevil?
No, I still have what, 2 or 3 Daredevil episodes to watch. Two, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm
Are
caught
you?
up.
Have you watched? Are you current?
I am current.
Spoil away. I don't stand on spoilers.
Um, it's I wish I could say that spoiling it would ruin it, except nothing seems to be accumulating. Like I think it's still suffering from that. It used to be a procedural show that they've tried to make a serialized show, and so it still has that feel of like, so we're gonna do a couple of episodes about this serial killer named Muse. Oh, is that what the season's about? No, no, it's kind of gonna be 2 episodes in and out, kind of one and done. Much like the White Tiger stuff, everything seems very siloed. Everything seems very like we're gonna get the Punisher for one scene, you know,
Yeah. Did
and
he hasn't come back since that one episode?
he hasn't yet, and I'm on episode 8.
I
Uh,
saw some article online where somebody was like, they gave Matt Murdock a power he's never had before. Like he touched a piece of art and he was like, he knew where somebody was being held captive.
I mean, I really, 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 really like, Charlie Cox, and I really like Vincent D'Onofrio. Um, it the problem is that the show feels like it wants to be building to a thing they've already done, which is Matt Murdock is trying not to be Daredevil, but the circumstances are forcing him to put the suit fucking back on. But we already done that. Like that was season 3 of the Netflix show. And so you can't quite just repeat that again, even though that's the energy, which is I crossed the line. I'm not going to be Daredevil. I'm not going to be vigilante. And oh no, everything's arguing for me to put back on the suit. And yeah, I don't know, man. There are pleasures to be had, to be certain, but as the parts are not equating to a whole, not yet. But we'll see what happens. I think there's one more episode in this stretch. They did 18 episodes, or at least that was the initial order. By next Wednesday, I think we'll be at the 9, which feels like the place they're going to break it in half. I don't know. I don't know. It's early to say, but I'm not feeling it the way I felt it in the past.
I'm seeing lots of people in chat talking about the Pit. That's the hospital show, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I haven't seen it yet, but it's it's the show that the Michael Crichton estate was suing over
Yeah,
because
right. Because they were like, "This is fucking ER."
yeah, this is John Carter as a grown ass person in another ER. And I think the Crichton estate is particularly litigious because that's what it was supposed to be. I think that's how it was
I think
developed.
originally they were trying to do an ER spinoff, and then
Yeah.
they didn't want to do the deal with the Crichton estate.
Yeah. So like it's in Chicago, it's in Pittsburgh now. Okay.
It sounds like it's very successful, so they'll be able to pay off the lawsuit.
Yeah. I've heard it's amazing.
I will give that a shot, man.
Uh,
What else are folks talking about in chat? The Naked Gun trailer.
I wasn't sold until the very last joke in the trailer where they're all looking at their progenitors and it's like there's 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 Drebin and there's that and then there's OJ Simpson. It's like bravo.
Yeah, I honestly, same here. That was the joke that won me, where I was like, "Oh, you have my attention." And the guy who played his like heir or whatever, his reaction was like pitch perfect. It wasn't just the like them showing an OJ picture, but it was the actual his reaction.
Like,
Really
oh,
good.
we're doing this. uh, did
Marty
you see?
Landon and Shaq keep saying my voice is boring. That's
Sorry.
why I play Silent Bob, bitch. I was told as a child by a cruel adult, quite like yourself, your voice is boring. So I was like, fine, I'll never speak in movies. I cursed myself like I was in a Stephen King book and shit. I said, thinner.
you
Not
and
today. I feel fatter. I keep looking at my face and I've been pigging out for the last week, man. A lot of stress eating. Got to stop that. Anyone else stress eating?
dude, like the world is on fire.
Oh,
And
all
so
right. So we're allowed? Nobody, I didn't get the fucking memo. We're allowed to stress eat and shit. I've been
I
trying to
mean,
follow everything with Celsius's, man. So because it says that it burns, fucking what is this? Accelerates metabolism. It says, Mark. Got to be true. They wrote it on the can. So I'm fucking, eating chocolate Twizzlers with one hand, pounding Celsius with the other, hoping it'll even out. One will neutralize the other.
yeah, it is the equivalent of like, I'm gonna go get that McDonald's cheeseburger and have a Slim Fast shake because it's Slim Fast,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
Yeah. Somebody said I sound tired. Do I? Maybe it's Friday. It was just,
It's 8 o'clock on a Friday, man. It's been a week.
I guess.
Cut a brother some slack.
Um,
Did you see that
we gotta
Tron
get loose. We gotta
Aries
get
trailer?
loose. What's that?
Did you see that Tron Aries trailer? Are you a Tron kid?
Video game. I love the Tron video game.
Mm.
But I'm not a fan, but it's not part of my world. I respect that it exists, but oddly enough, it's not part of my bibliography.
Fair.
Yours?
I think so. I think it probably started with a video game too, because the video game was great. The coin op game in the arcades was,
Incredible.
I mean, light cycles are the great innovation out of that fucking game
Yeah.
and that movie. Um, so like I have some residual fondness for the game, not the drama of it. I keep saying game of the movie. Not the drama of it. I mean, the tech, the computer technology, the CG stuff was so compelling that it kind of outweighed the character stuff, which is a little dingy. Tron Legacy Similarly, it's a kind of a hollow enterprise.
Mhm.
But I remain here for like Jeff Bridges continuing to interact with the Tron universe. And that trailer for Tron Ares, which was like, oh, we're bringing Tron into the real world, about fucking time. It's only been 40 years. Give me a new thing. And it looked pretty good. You know, you give me light cycles driving on like the San Francisco Bridge, the Golden
So
Gate
that's
Bridge.
it. Like this time, it's like now Tron's in the real world, fuckers.
Yeah, we kept going there. Now they're coming here.
Is that the premise?
It seems to be,
You have my attention.
it's like do a different thing. I don't want to go into the
Light
same thing.
cycles in real life could be a cool thing, unless they look stupid in real life.
Yeah, well, it seemed to look cool.
Fucking A, man, I'm in.
Um, did you see the trailer for Predator: Killer of Killers?
No.
This was, I mean, I want to say that it was the head of Fox like a year ago gave some interview talking about that there were going to be two Predator movies coming within the same calendar year. One of them we knew about, which is Predator Badlands, with I think Dakota Fanning, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who made Prey, and another one that he wouldn't say anything about. It seems to have been Predator Killer of Killers, which is an animated film, also directed by Dan Trachtenberg, that follows the Predator interacting throughout history with what seems to be Vikings, samurai, and World War II pilots. Um, yeah, fucking all right. I'll give that a go. The animation looks sick. The Predator shit looks awesome. And it's just showing up on my Hulus in like 2 months. Done. That's a sweet hat.
You know what I'm saying? And then look at this shit. I didn't ask for this. In fact, they're doing a different one.
Oh.
But I don't really go for that credit. I don't really do that film by credit. To me, I don't say this for everybody, but for me, it would just feel like leaving everybody else out and stuff. But they're going to be selling those hats on tour, kids.
Mhm.
Dogma, the Resurrection Tour, coming your way, starting 420 on Easter out here in Los Angeles. Then I go to San Diego on the 21st of April, Phoenix on the 22nd, Seattle on the 23rd, Minneapolis on the 24th, Chicago on the 26th, Kansas City on the 28th, Dallas on April 30th, Houston on May 1st, kids, Boston May 3rd, Manhattan, the Isle of Manhattan on May 4th, Philadelphia on May 5th, Atlanta on May 7th, Tampa on May 9th, Orlando on May 10th, New Jersey on May 14th. We sold out 4 shows already at the Smog Castle, and we put a 5th one up for sale for just the tour.
Hot damn.
Pittsburgh on the May 16th, and San Francisco on the 23rd, and they're going to be adding Denver to that as well as Burbank, kids. Tickets at dogmamovie.com. But if you're like, hey, you're not coming to my town, don't worry, man. Dogma coming to your theater near you on June 5th.
Feels like I'm not going to see you until June.
It's going to be a while, man. I mean, we could do a show. I just won't be in this room. I'll be in another room on the road. Shit. Got days off. There's some days they're just travel days. But it's crazy. Like, it's like, it's, we're going to party like it's 1999. I've lived through this before, Mark.
Everything
Like,
is
it's crazy seeing like the new trailer and the poster. It's like, I remember when we had an old trailer and an old poster. Nobody ever said, hey, one day, quarter of a century from now, you'll get to do it again. It's kind of sweet.
It's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
And also,
dogmamovie.com. Speaking of sponsors, who goes next?
Hobbies.
Does it for sure? Kids, we got another sponsor, and that is the good folks at Chubby's. Whether you're getting dressed for your workday or a workout or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered, man. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving our viewers 20% off your order with our code BEYOND, BEYOND, all one word, at chubbysshorts.com, CHUBBIESSH ORTS.com. That's beyond at chubbyshorts.com, all one word. Support our show and tell them we sent you, man. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with the chubbies.
Hell yeah. I mean, fellas, April's here, but this ain't the time for fooling. It's the time to let those thighs breathe. Whether you're playing a round of golf with the fellas, hitting up a beer garden, or visiting an actual garden, Chubby's has you covered for all the good vibes that warm weather brings. Bright polos that demand attention? Check. Killer shorts to show off those beautiful thighs? Double check. Hitting up the pool or the beach? Their classic lined swim collection has your new favorite trunk for those sunny days. And for everything non-water related, their original shorts provide that classic look with a fresh vibe and a modern fit. And for a mix of laid-back style and performance, you gotta try their everywhere shorts. That's everywhere, WEAR. Get it? These rascals are a clever little bunch.
At the end of the day, your wardrobe deserves a springtime upgrade, man. So sweeten the deal. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving our listeners 20% off your order. Can you believe that? With our exclusive code. Use the code BEYOND at chubbyshorts.com, man. Whether you're getting ready dressed for your work day, kids, or a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered. They're going to cover your nudity, cover your fucking shame. Doesn't matter what you got between your legs. Chubby's going to cover it. So you can go out in public and shit. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving our viewers 20% off your order with our code BEYOND, BEYOND, at chubbyshorts.com. That's code BEYOND at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you, man. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubby's. We thank the good folks at Chubby's for sponsoring this here podcast.
Indeed.
All right. Shall we dive into the news?
We can do some news.
Let's do some news. We've done some reviews. Now we should do some news. Unless there are things we didn't talk about.
No, that's pretty much all I saw. Un film de Kevin Smith.
Where shall we go?
Well, this is the late breaking news as of a couple of hours ago that apparently Beetlejuice 3 is in the works. Given that Beetlejuice 2 earned $451 million at the box office, that seems to be a relatively strong indicator.
Beetlejuice is back, kids. If you were ever wondering if Beetlejuice was ever gone, no way. You're going to get more Beetlejuices than Star Wars movies, kids. There's a whole Beetlejuice universe on its way. Is he going to go Hawaiian in this movie?
I mean, unclear. It's very early development for Beetlejuice, which, if that's not the name of Beetlejuice 3, I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
It's true. It took decades to go from 1 to 2 and minutes to go from 2 to 3. That is the Brothers Warner, ladies and gentlemen. They've announced recently over at Warner Brothers that it's all IP all the time. Never mind, what they used to do, which was like filmmaker friendly and shit like that. Now they're like, hey, man, it's Harry Potter. It's Godzilla. It ain't Looney Tunes. That's for damn sure.
No, or it's Minecraft, which as of today made $200 million in a week.
Was that a Warner Brothers picture?
Warner Brothers legendary.
Boy, they needed that, huh? They had back-to-back Alto Knights, Joker, and something else hit them pretty hard. So Minecraft is and look, let me tell you, as an exhibitor, fucking thank God for Minecraft. I asked Ernie, Smodcastle keeper Ernie O'Donnell, kids, if you want to go see a movie in New Jersey, go to Smodcastle Cinemas, theater I co-own with my friends in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. I asked him, I was like, hey man, how'd that Minecraft movie do? I said, did it touch Super Mario's? Because that's the gold standard at our movie theater, the highest grossing film of all time in our tenure. That's not like one of my movies that we charged like 50 to 75 bucks to watch, is Super Mario Brothers. So I'd seen all over news reports, this opened bigger than Super Mario Brothers. So I quickly called Ernie. I was like, did it open bigger than Super Mario Brothers? He goes, not for us, bro. He's going, yes, it's Jack Black, but he ain't singing Peaches. Ernie also said we had a chicken jockey incident or two in our movie theater.
Apparently there is some fourth dimensionality happening where people are taking the movie from the screen into the real world, like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
My instructions to Ernie, not that I'm like, what I say goes at the movie theater. But I was like, hey man, don't be calling cops on fucking kids in a movie theater. We were kids in a movie theater, man. He's like, no, but we didn't do their shit they're doing. He's like, I had somebody with popcorn in their hair. I was like, that's of all the things that can wind up in your hair in a dark movie theater, like popcorn, pretty reasonable.
Not bad.
Get back to me when it's fluids. But I was like, go easy on these kids. They never come to the movie theater, and we need them for God's sake. I don't care if they want to come there and do ritual fucking murders and shit. As long as they're buying popcorn. Every criminal and reprobate has a seat waiting for him at Smodcastle Cinemas, kids, where the movies come to play.
Apparently, it's the third largest opening in Warner Brothers history, behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which opened at $169 million, and 2016's Batman v Superman, which opened at $166 million.
Batman v Superman is the second highest grossing opening of Warner Brothers history.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Barbie is the highest domestic, highest grossing title ever for Warner Brothers.
What did they make in their first week? I guess not enough to be in the top three.
$162 million was Barbie's opening weekend. So Minecraft beat it by $1 million.
By 1 million. Now, does Minecraft, I mean, I ain't taking anything away. It's a massive success. But does Minecraft have the legs, pun intended, if you will, of a Barbie?
Unclear. It's like I said, today or yesterday it hit $200 million. I don't know if it's going to get to 600.
200 million.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, man, it's we're not even in the summer yet. It's April.
It's April.
There's a chance that, and the way the like those scenes, it's not just Chicken Jockey. There are a lot of scenes that have the kids like beside themselves and whatnot. Feels like it's going to play like their Rocky Horror Picture Show, or as I saw somebody say online, the Blocky Horror. For quite some time. I could see it playing all the way through the summer. No matter what else is coming out for kids, this movie seems to fucking deliver in a big bad way.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I'm not sure what is coming for kids. I know there's another Trolls movie. I know there's How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version, but I think those are a little bit later in the summer. Same thing with Lilo and Stitch, the live action version. So it might have an open road.
Lilo and Stitch gonna make some money.
Yeah.
Money changes everything. You know what the highest grossing movie of the summer is going to be? Dogma, returning to screens. June 5th, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, it's got nothing but movie stars.
It does, man. We got one of the most star-studded casts of the summer. Like, it's so crazy because a month ago, I had no idea. Like, oh my God, we're going to be a summer movie? We weren't even a summer movie the last time around.
I mean, I like that The Accountant 2 is just warm-up for Dogma.
When's that coming out?
2 weeks.
That's right. And then another Ben Affleck movie moves into the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Old Ben Affleck versus young Ben Affleck. It's gonna be like that Will Smith movie that nobody saw.
Man, that's fucked up.
All right, where else we going?
Apparently there is a Dune 3 that is happening much faster than you and I thought a Dune 3 was happening.
Is what's his name directing it? Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve, who when we last talked about a Dune with him, was like, we're gonna wait a while. Like Dune 3 it's in the future, it's on the horizon.
And then David Zaslav was like,
yeah, come on, homie.
All they do is IP, man.
All they do is IP. And apparently Robert Pattinson is circling a role in the Dune Part 3.
Now, is this Dune Part 3 related to the first two Dunes we watched, or is this one of those? And 1,000 years later.
No, it is still the story of Paul Muad'Dib Atreides. It is still the story of Chani.
As a person who has read the books, Mark.
Yes.
Does Paul Muad'Dib eventually go south?
Um, if I remember correctly, he survives into the third book and then dies. Um,
But I mean, does he stay a good guy or does he live long enough to become the villain, as they say?
he was a reading of the book would tell you that he was never actually the good guy. Um, a reading of the book will tell you that power has corrupted him. Um, that he believes his own hype a little bit too much. And the movies, to be fair, yes, it is from a point of view in which Paul is doing what he thinks necessary to save the people that he loves. It is also a story about a guy who is more than willing to throw people he loves under the bus in exchange for larger concessions for global, if not intergalactic affairs. You know,
The folks in chat, Humongous says Usul was never a hero. Dennis DeMercurio says he turns into a worm.
that is true.
He what? Is he what? Paul Moadib becomes a worm?
It is.
Like one of those third stage travelers?
It's the books turn into like it's Dune Messiah, then there's like Children of Dune, then like God Emperor of Dune, and I think that is when he transubstantiates and uh becomes literally a fucking sandworm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who is it? Pimpton? PNP? PNPton? In chat says, yes, it's Lovecraftian. Dude turns into an immortal worm god, that subjects mankind to a tyranny beyond belief. That's what happens?
Yeah, I stopped reading those books at around that point because I still wanted like, are we not riding fucking worms anymore? Are we not?
Matthew Boyette in chat says it's the sun that becomes the worm.
Any version where there's human people turning into worms, for me, was a bridge too far.
That was where they lost you and shit.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
like, Dune got buggy. Thank you.
But yes, so it seems as if Denis I mean, hell, Dune Messiah is expected to film this summer ahead of a December 18th, 2026 release date.
Wow. Wait,
Super
they're
fun.
gonna film this. They're gonna film in 1 year from now. It's gonna be on screens,
Allegedly.
and it ain't like a Kevin Smith picture. It's one of these Dune movies with effects and shit like that.
It's a Dune picture.
Good luck. I'll be
Yes.
there, man. Denny Villeneuve has not let me down once.
No.
And for Arrival, I'll watch anything he does for the rest of his life. Even if he was like, "Oh, would you like to watch this video of me cutting your throat right in front of you, serving you a piece of your brain, like in that fucking Hannibal Lecter picture?" I'd be like, "The Arrival earns you that, sir."
That was a deeper Red Dragon cut than I thought we were going to get, but I appreciate it. It was an Hannibal.
That was Hannibal. Time is not linear, Mark.
Mm.
She learned to read time, and that movie's so fucking good. Didn't your boy write that? You know somebody who worked on it, right?
Eric Heiser, yeah, he optioned the original short story. Um, was the only writer on that movie.
A wonderful movie. Wonderful.
Um,
All right, where else we going?
we were going to a thing that I was convinced was a fucking April Fool's Day joke, but apparently is true. Is that apparently there's going to be a spinoff to Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I read this. I saw this, but he's not directing it.
David Fincher is directing it.
I think that's kind of cool.
I think it's cool, but I was like, that can't, this, what? Huh? What?
That's dope, man. I'm all for that. Like, fucking let more filmmakers make sequels to other filmmakers' films. Quentin didn't seem interested in doing it, right? He's got one more movie he wants to make, so didn't sound like he wanted to direct a spinoff to that. But like him and Fincher, I guess, are tight.
I think it was a Brad Pitt thing. I think it was that,
Hmm.
like, as Quentin wrote it.
Makes sense. Quentin wrote it?
Quentin wrote it. Um, he wrote the script for the feature project, which is set up in Netflix, which could go before cameras by late summer, according to one source. But yeah, Quentin wants to make 10 movies. His 10th was supposed to be a film called The Movie Critic,
Yeah, but he changed his mind, right?
but he changed his mind. But The Movie Critic would have also featured Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth, um, the stuntman, fucking body man, um, to Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, and when he sort of put the kibosh on the movie critic, I was like, I still want to play that character. And apparently Pitt, asked Quentin whether or not he would consider letting somebody else direct it. And Tarantino said, depends on who. And then Pitt returns with Fincher, who again, like Seven, Fight Club, Benjamin Button, all of that shit.
Mm.
And
Two of my
so,
favorite filmmakers working on a movie. That's cool.
yeah, I'm here for it. Um,
In chat, Darnell Solomon says Dogma screening in Houston is where? That would be at North Park, April 30th, kids. But I think all the tickets there are sold out. Houston, there are tickets available. I know you're like, I don't want to go to Houston. That'd be like me saying something sold out in Jersey, and they're like, yeah, you can go to Philly. Like, well, I don't want to go to fucking Philly. That's pretty far from where I wanted to go.
I mean,
But Houston, there's still tickets left. Lots of places been selling out. Back to the news, Mark.
back to the news. There were a couple of little sort of newslets that dropped out of CinemaCon, which, as you mentioned, was just less low this past week in Las Vegas. Spider-Man 4 got a title,
Yeah,
Brand New Day.
Brand New Day, which comes from the comic books, yes.
Indeed.
You
Um,
think, I mean, they've been known to take titles from the comics and not necessarily do the storyline from the comics. So I'm guessing they're not doing Brand New Day with Spider-Man in the movies.
I don't think so, because if I remember Brand New Day correctly, it was the undoing of the Peter Parker, Mary Jane Watson marriage, because they wanted him to be a single man again. Um, and given that that is not how No Way Home ended, uh, it seems to be a in name only. They've already greenlit a sequel to How to Train Your Dragon,
Oh, to the live action one.
for the live action one.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks like that's going to make all the money in the world, man.
yeah,
Have you seen any of the videos from Epic Universe, the new Universal Park out in Florida?
no, how's it look?
They've got a How to Train Your Dragon land and shit, and they've got these autonomous little toothless robot dragons that walk around and close their eyes and respond and put their ears back. It's fucking nuts, dude. Nuts. Like, it was that. Did you watch the Russo brothers movie, The Electric State?
I did not. Did you?
No, I did not, but I think it's about robots, even cute ones, like taking over. Like we lost a robot war or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, man, looking at this thing, I could see how we could lose because I know it's a robot underneath the rubber skin, but this thing was goddamn adorable.
That's what
So I think it's a no-brainer that they're going to do another live action How to Train Your Dragons. This one's going to make so much fucking money.
yeah.
Lee B Films in chat says, has Kev ever met Fincher? I did meet David Fincher
Hmm.
at a wedding. He had directed the groom in a very successful film.
Hmm.
I have directed the groom in many unsuccessful films by comparison. So we were both there, and I was outside, and he went outside to grab a cigarette, and he goes, Kevin, David Fincher. And I'd never laid eyes on him. And I was like, holy shit, that's what you look like? And he's like, yes. And we chit chat for a while. Really nice guy, man. But like one of my absolute favorite filmmakers. I use him as an example many times when I talk about myself, my own work in a very disparaging way, where I'm like, I'm the filmmaker that has to come out and explain the movie after it's done. That's why I do Q&A and shit. I'm like, hold on, let me tell you what happened. I had a big fight with Bruce Willis. I was like, but Fincher, he's the guy that makes the movie, and the movie just speaks for itself. You never see Fincher out there fucking talking it up or fucking like going, hey, this is what I was trying to do, or oh, we had these problems and shit like that. Like he just lets the work speak for itself, and the work is so fucking strong. But yeah, it was nice. He was a cool guy. I like him very much. Yes, and then Team Dragon Chat was like, Ben Affleck. Yes, I was being facetious. It was Ben Affleck.
But yes, so How to Train Your Dragon 2 is coming. There is the inevitable John Wick 5 with Keanu Reeves and director Chad Stahelski both coming back, in addition to a John Wick animated prequel movie.
Wait, what?
Yes. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the John Wick lore.
Is it him getting the puppy at the end?
It's not him getting the puppy.
Because
Apparently,
remember how this all fucking started?
a puppy.
Like they got 98 movies out of this somebody killing this guy's dog. It's insane. They don't even talk about the dog anymore.
They don't. And it's weird because in movie time, it's supposed to be like 3 weeks.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. The timeline is supposed to be incredibly condensed.
So this guy's not even over the loss of his fucking dog yet?
No.
Because let me tell you, man, Shecky died a while ago, and I think about her all the time. And when I see another doctor, I get very emotional. So if you're telling me that all the John Wick movies take place 3 weeks after the puppy died, how the fuck is he getting anything done? I watched that dude climb a mountain of stairs, get his ass knocked back down, climb right back fucking up. You mean to tell me the whole time in the back of his head, he's like, can't believe my dog's dead.
Yeah. Man, it's not even a month.
It's not even a month. Is it always going to hurt like this? Shit, bang, 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 bang.
But apparently this is the story, the animated movie is the story of the impossible task that he was given that allowed him to buy his freedom from the assassin world.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what they're going to do in animated form.
That's the animated film. John Wick 5 is just he didn't die at the end of John Wick 4, and so he's still out there in the world doing John Wick shit.
I think John Wick 5 should be John Wick 5, All Dogs Go to Heaven, where he gets killed as he did in the last movie and then goes to heaven and, something bad happens to the dogs up there. And he's like,
But it's
all
just all
dogs go to heaven.
And then they dated Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is now coming in May, I believe, 2027. So
Jay Jeter or Gator in chat goes, it is not about the dog. Hey, man, that's spoken like somebody who doesn't have a dog. Let me tell you something. It is all about the fucking dog. Like, that's what drew me to John Wick in the first place. I was like, kill them all. Kill every one of those fucks. But I guess that he can't, like a dog can't die at the beginning of every John Wick movie. People would see through that formula.
Yeah, it's like, how many dogs is this guy going to buy?
They
keep dying.
If they keep getting killed, Wick, that's on you.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't get a dog. Maybe you get one of them toothless robots from Universal. I'm telling you, go search one of them videos out, man. It's unnerving what those robots can do now. It's crazy. Remember the one robot in Avengers Land that was Spider-Man? He flipped out in the air. That was the special effect, the sound effect. All right, what else we got?
Did you tune in to the 5.5 hour live stream that revealed some of the cast for Avengers Doomsday?
While furiously masturbating, you damn right I did.
Outstanding.
I kept it up like Sting for 5 hours, one long edging orgasm until Robert Downey Jr. showed up, and then I was like, and
then he said, shh.
Yeah, then he shushed me, and I was like,
okay, Dr. Doom.
I like when he makes me feel dirty like that. I didn't watch it, but I did tune in at one point, and there was nobody and no camera moving and shit, so I never went back. But then I read that it was one of the most watched things of all time. It was like that fucking Oscar selfie that the Oscar selfie heard around the world and shit.
Yeah.
Lot of views for empty chairs, man. That's the magic of Marvel.
But the cast that they announced, like it seems to be both everybody you thought it would be, some surprising additions, and some surprising omissions, including there's no Tom Holland and no Chris Evans so far, but you get a Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston and Anthony Mackie and Paul Rudd and Letitia Wright and Simu Liu and Dana Ramirez and Winston Duke and Sebastian Stan and Florence Pugh and Wyatt Russell and David Harbour and John Kamen and Lewis Pullman, all from Thunderbolts. You get fucking Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and James Marsden and Rebecca Romaine, because apparently we're not done with the X-Men from the Fox's X-Men films, including Nightcrawler and Kelsey Grammer. Sure. Channing Tatum. All right. All the Fantastic Four, Pedro, Vanessa, Eben Musbackrack, and Joseph Quinn. Tena Huerta Meja, fucking Namor is back. Dope. But again, no Cap, no Spidey, no Doctor Strange. But that seems like enough people.
I'm sorry. I'm in chat. Somebody said, Team Dreg says, thoughts on Juliette Lewis walking off the Yellow Jackets panel immediately as it ends, criticizing her character arc. Do you know anything about this?
I did hear tell that apparently she was unhappy with what happened to her character.
Where was this?
I think it was some For Your Consideration event.
And she was just like, fuck Yellow Jackets.
I didn't see the video, but apparently she has been displeased with what happened with her character and then just kind of bounced.
Wow, man. I mean, it's not like what happened to her character happened yesterday, so she must have held on to that anger for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I stopped watching Yellow Jackets, so I'm not part of
Season 1 was excellent, man. Excellent.
Season 1's great.
Yeah.
Season 2 was a bit of a head scratcher, and I got 2 episodes into season 3 and was like, I don't know why I'm here anymore. I don't get it. I don't have to watch this, so I won't.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that happened. I worked with Juliette Lewis, man, on Catch and Release. She's a genius, like literally a fucking performing genius. One of those actors, like I'm always like, hey man, Nick Cage, fucking Alan Rickman, they make these incredible choices. She's one of those cats. Like,
yeah,
always makes a choice no other actor would make, and makes it her own, very signature. And then suddenly you're like, well, how could you say it any other way but that? He's that good. I gotta go look that up and see what happened, man. All right. What else we got?
We got, after 100 years, there's finally going to be a best achievement in stunt design.
Oh, for the Oscars?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean,
finally.
fucking, it's the one of the only departments on a movie where you could die. And it took them this long to be like, maybe we should give them an Oscar.
And also has
Hal
been there
Needham.
before.
Hal Needham would have been one of the most honored Oscar fucking laden directors in the history of cinema if they'd had this going back in the 70s, right?
Hell yeah. I mean, Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin would have been fucking just swimming in Oscars. Jackie Chan would have an armful of them. Apparently there's been a campaign for, at the very least, the last 10 years or so, from various folks, not the least of which is David Leitch and Chad Stahelski, both of whom started as stuntmen and stunt coordinators, who then went on to make the John Wick movies and some Fast and Furious movies, and most recently Fall Guy, sort of a love letter to stuntmen, have been campaigning for the last decade or so to get the Academy to recognize. Because like since the jump, that's why we're here. It was the original special effect.
Let me tell you something, man. There ain't nothing like the life of a Hollywood stuntman.
Indeed.
Name the movie.
It's Hooper.
Well done. Oh my God, you make me so happy in the soul that you got that right. Hooper. Remember it had a crazy like third act where he makes the jump and shit, and like, you make that jump, you could die, Hooper. And fucking he makes
gonna
the
do
jump
it with me
and lands, and then they think like they're all fucked up, but then Burt Reynolds, man, what a movie star.
And I also love that the movie somehow convinces you that they would have done that all in a single shot.
Well, yes. It's like, on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when they're shooting in the blunt cave. They're like, and action, and they ramp up the noise, like the sound effect. So it sounds like the sound mix and shit. Don't do that in real life either. Man, that was a good ass movie, man. Hal Needham, he was just all about like, let's crash 106 cars. let's just see what'll happen and shit.
I catch, and it's one of those movies that is always on basic cable at some point during the month, is Smokey and the Bandit. And I have a deep love for it, despite it's a movie made in like 1976 or 77. So, your hero is driving a car that has a Confederate flag license plate. Um, but like,
wait, what? Who?
Yeah, the license plate on the Bandit
is the Confederate flag.
Yep.
So is that where they? I mean, I know it's set in Kentucky, but I wonder if because they get to Dukes of Hazzard because of Smokey and the Bandit, right? Undeniably.
Yes, 100%.
So I wonder if they were like, "Hey, man, let's just throw that element on the roof of the car."
It worked there. What if we did it like 100 times bigger?
Yeah, this is what made that Smokey and the Bandit movie hit was the license plate. Old Dixie. The license plate was the roof of our car.
But also that's not a movie you could like. The plot of Smokey and the Bandit is we have to get beer
from Texarkana,
because it's illegal in whatever, it's like Tennessee or some shit like that. Like you literally couldn't bring it north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Let's do the lyrics. Eastbound and down, loaded up in trucking. We're going to do what they said can't be done. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch old Bandit run. But there's lyrics about like there's beer in Texarkana and we got to get it to Montana or something. I don't think that was the plot.
He's got what it takes.
Eastbound and down. That is the 70s dad movie if ever there was one, man.
A lot. But like there's no like you can only do it with like meth today because there's nothing that's
he's like we got to pick up that shit in Texarkana. Fuck yeah, man. Eastbound and down. And then and also, can you run from the cops anymore like they did in those movies?
Was
there ever a helicopter chase in Smokey and the Bandit?
There wasn't. I'd like to say you couldn't, but every third car chase on the news, some dude just gets away.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like out here. Feels like there's so many helicopters, man. They're always like, no, I got it.
Yeah, but it's always like if they're downtown, if they're in a place with some cover, if there's any place with a fucking tunnel, it seems like, oh man, we lost him over there. Where'd he go? I'm not sure. Oh, did he get out of the car? We don't know. There's, it's too hazardous for us to chase this guy. We're calling off the pursuit. So yeah.
Eastbound down, loaded up and
we only have one other news item.
Last news story. Kids, get ready to prove Mark wrong. If there are any news stories we missed, throw them in the chat. We'll talk about anything.
We will, especially
just like that fucking dark part of Common People and Black Mirror, man. You come on the dumb dummies. That was fucking dark.
For $100, put your dick in a mousetrap.
Oof. The piss glass was a real haunting image too.
Yeah.
When he wouldn't kiss her and shit, and then he put the dishwashing detergent in the glass. But still, nothing will touch the fucking PM fucking the pig. Good God. Anyway, but yes, kids, Black Mirror is back on Netflix. Go ahead.
Well, the last news item is not a good one. It is our obituary of the evening.
This is a bummer.
We
lost one of the great ones, kids. One of the great. You want to talk about actors who make interesting choices? Nobody ever made the choices this cat made. And he made an indelible impression on me, to say the least, man. So much so that it took a while, but I gravitated to actually get to stand on a set with him and stuff. The late, great Val Kilmer, kids. We lost him last week quite unexpectedly. And I mean, everybody loved Val Kilmer. He's an amazing actor. But I think for people me and Mark's age, man, we got to see his entire career.
Yeah.
Got to see him explode onto the scene with Top Secret and follow it with real genius and to just climb and climb and climb from there. Whenever they talked about actors of that generation, you know, who were like serious about the craft and stuff, he was always one of the first names that was mentioned. Um, he was a sweetheart, man. Like when I first moved out to, you know, I grew up watching this guy in movies. Went with Vinny Pereira, my friend Vinny Pereira, to see The Doors in Manhattan, at the theater that's now the IFC theater, or at least was. I don't even know if that's still open. It used to be the Waverly, I think. So we
Mm.
went to the Waverly and we got there about 15 minutes late because of Lincoln Tunnel traffic and shit, just to go up to New York to go see The Doors, because it wasn't coming down to Jersey at that point. Because his performance was, and his Jim Morrison was incredible. He just did an absolutely phenomenal job. So this guy, we always loved him and shit. And when I moved out to California in 2002, into this house where I am now, in this room, which used to be my in-laws' bedroom, um, Gail, Jen's mom, was my assistant for like 10 years and stuff. So I remember I came down here to get the kid, young Harley, and Gail was going through a bunch of correspondence and paperwork. And she's like, "You got a letter from Val Kilmer." And I was like, "Val Kilmer, the actor? Batman Val Kilmer?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she gave it to me. And we have it somewhere still saved. It was him going, like, mind you, this was 2002, 2003. But he had just caught up with Dogma and he wrote a fan letter, like a really beautiful letter about, like, "I think that movie's ballsy and I would love to work with you. Is there anything you're thinking of?" Or blah, blah, blah. And I didn't make anything that was Val Kilmer worthy, to say the least, until I saw him in MacGruber. And then I was like, "Oh, shit, I could have been working with Val Kilmer my whole life." He was also very, very funny. But then, let me see, he reached out. I guess it was his like manager or friend reached out because we were shooting Jay and Silent Bob reboot in New Orleans. And he was like, "Hey, Val is doing his a screening of his Mark Twain movie, like right there in town. Can you come out?" But we were shooting on the day that it was happening. And I was like, "Oh, sadly, we're shooting." He's like, "You're shooting in New Orleans?" I was like, "Oh my God, yes." I was like, "How long is Val in town?" And so he put us in touch, and you know, we started emailing back and forth. And you know, Val was like, "Hey, I would love to come play. Perhaps I could play." You know, he goes, "My voice isn't what it used to be," because he had already gone through his stuff. He said, "But perhaps I could play some poor cousin to Silent Bob." And I was like, "You have no fucking idea how right you are." And we cast him as our Blunt Man in the fake Blunt Man and Chronic movie in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And since Blunt Man didn't have to speak and shouldn't speak, it actually kind of worked out, like in our favor, because you know his voice was not the thing that he could bring to the table that time. So it was, you know, being on set with a fucking legend. And granted, it was a goofy ass fucking movie. Like, wasn't even Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It was fucking reboot of all Jay and Silent Bob movies. But he had a good ass time, man. And being on a set with him, just, I don't know, you know, I've lived a long time in entertainment, now more years in entertainment than not in entertainment and stuff. But anyone who is like famous before I ever got into this job, they remain bright, shining fucking stars. So being on set with him, even, you know, in his somewhat diminished capacity, considering he'd gone through a pretty heavy health trial, was still flabbergasting, to say the least, man. Um, he gave me a piece of art. I have a wonderful piece of metal art that he made with an image of him in one of his greatest roles playing Doc Holliday.
Mm.
So it's upstairs in the bar, man. Just an absolute magician, and I was lucky to have crossed paths with him. Good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you say, he was a fixture, I think, in my sort of cinematic um development. And it's worth remembering, at least for me, he came into my life as a comedian. He was a funny guy.
Yeah,
Um,
beautiful, beautiful fucking man.
yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. But
But fucking like brilliantly funny, man.
yeah, a lot like Sean Penn. in the like the first time you saw Sean Penn and the first time you saw Val Kilmer were in comedies,
Yeah,
you know,
true. Good point.
and then the development from there into one of the great dramatic actors. I think, and I didn't know at the time that he went to Juilliard. I didn't know at the time he was a playwright. I didn't know at the time like all of these hidden dimensions of him. But I've always sort of taken with me the idea that like comedians can do both things in a way that dramatic actors kind of can't. And I think some of it is just timing. They understand timing in a way that, I don't know if a dramatic actor necessarily understands. Um, and I think it makes them more fluid. I think it makes them more facile. I think it makes the text a little bit doughier in their hands, and they can kind of work wonders with it. And never forgetting the idea that like he always had a fucking twinkle in his eye, no matter if it's Mad Mardigan, if it's Jim Morrison, if it's Doc Holliday, if it's Iceman or Batman. Like,
Gay Perry and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He was absolutely phenomenal in that as well.
so
And he played with Robert. Him and Robert Downey Jr. were an absolutely wonderful team in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
yeah, yeah, he was just always fucking magnetic.
But Chris Knight, that was my boy, man. Fucking him and Real Genius. Martha Coolidge's follow up to Valley Girl, one of my favorite films of all time. And Real Genius is also one of my favorite films of all time. He is a large part of why he's absolutely magnetic in that movie. That movie still works today, man. Still legit funny. But you're right. For a dude who was considered one of the best at his craft in his generation, we met him first in a comedic role.
Yeah, and two of them
Wow.
back to
And
back,
of course, Batman.
and Batman.
And this was a guy who the first Batman after Michael Keaton, he had to step into the cowl or into the cape, if you will, after we were already used to Michael Keaton and did it once, man, but did a wonderful job. I don't know if he enjoyed it that much. I read some interviews where he was like,
Which it is a hell of a machine to step into.
yeah.
Especially as it's, Joel Schumacher taking over Tim Burton and him taking over Michael Keaton and the evolution of where those Bat films would end up going. Like it's a weird costume to have to put on at that in that place in that time.
It's a movie I should do at Smodcastle's Real Genius.
Oh
I
yeah.
fucking love that movie. But it's an 80s flick and some of them, you score big with. Fucking obviously like Back to the Future, any Back to the Future, you could always pull a crowd with. But like I'd do Real Genius and I don't know though, maybe now like in people would come because of like to honor Val. But remember we did Streets of Fire. I mean, this is completely unrelated. But remember we did Streets of Fire. It was like
Yeah.
fucking 4 people there and shit.
No,
I
we got
broke
way
my
more
heart.
than four people.
I
Like
remember
eventually we did. Like the sales were a little sluggish on Streets of Fire because nobody knew what it was. We
Real
did Get
Genius, man.
Dune.
They probably know what Real Genius is. The
I think we
Saint,
did if we
which
if we did a top secret Real Genius double feature.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
I'm totally there for it, man. As we say on Hollywood Babylon, huge bucket of win. And crazy that like I went from watching that dude on screen, on a VHS tape, on a laser disc, on a DVD, and a Blu-ray, and then one day on a movie set. Got lucky, man. I got very lucky that we crossed paths, and just by geographically, we happened to be in the same place at the same time. And because of that, one of the all-time greatest, came into my world for a day and made our shit a little bit more memorable.
Mm.
Absolute magician, man. I will miss you, sir. I think I speak for all of us when I say we are all your Huckleberry.
Indeed.
Just shame people got to go, man. All right. What else? Is that all we got on the news?
That is all we've got, my friend.
There's the news, kids. That's the news. We brought the news to you. Mark brought you the news. Give him thanks. We got one more sponsor, right?
We do indeed.
One more sponsor, kids, and then we're going to get into some Q&A on this here Friday night before we get so sad. God damn it, man. That dude was amazing at what he did. A fucking performance in The Doors is absolutely fucking tremendous. And then what's so weird is there is a scene in I got this comic, I got a bunch of comics coming out this year. First one is going to be this Marvel book, the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man Giant Size.
Mm.
Then the next month is Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob, which like is a shockingly wonderful book. The art was always going to look wonderful, Archie style art, but like I'm shocked the story holds together as well as it does. But in it, at one point, they go to a Josie and the Pussycats concert, and there's a whole 3-page riff on the scene from Oliver Stone's The Doors, where Morrison is all fucked up on stage in Miami and shit, and screaming at the crowd. So I had written that into the comic, and I remember when I was writing it, I was like, "Oh my god, Val is gonna love this," and sadly, that ain't the case. Well, he won't get to see it, but I think he would have loved it. It was kind of funny. It's all based on his performance. Oh man, pour one out. Kids, let's change the subject and talk about something tasty, man. We've talked about them before. I just cooked with them yesterday when I went out on the grill, oiled up the grill, man, made a bunch of burgers, Beyond Burgers, and a bunch of juicy marbles, which are these plant-based filet mignons, man. We're talking about Graza, kids. Graza. Oh, the olive oil folks, man. Not to be confused with the Genco olive oil company, as the scene in that movie. We're talking about real olive oil, kids. It is, they got 3 different kinds, right? You got the Frizzle, that's the newest, with a higher 490-degree smoke point, perfect for frying, crisping, or grilling. You got the Sizzle, 410 degrees Fahrenheit, an everyday cooking oil for roasting, marinating, and sauteing. And then you got the Drizzle, which is a bold, punchy finishing oil you can sprinkle on salads, dip bread in, or even top off on ice cream. Have you ever put olive oil on ice cream, Mark?
I cannot say that I have.
Yeah, me neither, man. But I've been reading this enough where it's going to sink in, and I'm going to try it. Why Graza, kids? Single origin goodness. Only one olive from one region. No mysterious blends. This ain't like when you drink milk and it's got 1,000 different cows' milks in it, man. One olive, one region. That's it. That means a traceable, fresher product without mixing in any lower grade or unknown oils. Nobody wants any of that unknown oil in your mouth.
It's not a fucking mudblood olive oil.
God, no, man. Pure, super fun, squeeze and spray bottles. They are. Like whether you're cooking or you're just getting into an oil fight with your loved ones. No more messy tins or drippy spouts. Who needs that shit? Just aim, squeeze, go. 3 types, as I told you, man. You got the Frizzle, the Sizzle, and the Drizzle. I cook with it all the time, man. And it is, I mean, it's crazy that they pointed out. Bottle is fun to squeeze. It's good fucking time.
I made some baked potatoes with it the other day.
And
oh, so fucking good. You in olive oil, in aluminum foil. You put a little Graza in the middle of a square of fucking aluminum foil. Squeeze some salt and pepper in that shit. Little rosemary, little thyme. Baked potato. Wrap it in the foil. Stick it in the fucking oven. Put it on the grill.
I gotta tell you, man, I haven't had a fucking baked potato since I did that all potato diet, and I was like, I never want to eat a fucking baked potato again.
Yeah,
you just made that sound tasty.
It's a little sexy, man. It's a little sexy, and I didn't want to trigger you because I know. I remember those days.
I'll be like, yeah, Spud. Hey man, you know what you're gonna get? 10% off your first order on Graza's site. But I personally suggest grabbing the trio. Get all 3, man. The Trinity. You can't just get Superman, you got to get Batman and Wonder Woman as well, man. So you got to get the Frizzle, the Drizzle, and the Sizzle, for heaven's sakes, to cook your next chef quality meal. Head to graza.co, graza.co, and use FATMAN, all one word, FATMAN. Get 10% off of Trio, which includes the Sizzle, the Frizzle, and the Drizzle. and get to cooking your next chef quality meal, kids. That's graza.co, graza.co, man. We thank the good folks at Graza.
Yes, we do.
For helping our oily asses.
Fuck yeah.
Here on Fat Man Beyond. What time is it? It's 9:40, and we started a little after 8. It ain't too bad.
I mean, it's definitely not an Adam Richman size show, but
oh my God, Adam he gives such good show. You just fucking, we could have walked away, just gave him the show.
4.5 hours.
Checked in every hour and asked one question, let him roll. He gives good guests, man.
He very much does.
All right. I hope he's still alive, because we haven't heard from Banff Man this whole time, but it's probably because he's dealing with not just one, two children. Banff Man, you out there?
Banff, I'm here.
There he is.
Yeah. 2 kids is more than 2 single kids. Like, the sum of the parts is greater than you would think, or whatever. Obviously, I'm not sleeping a lot.
That'll teach you to rap, that rascal. What's it like having 2, man? It's like, I remember when Jay had his second and shit. Him and Jordan had just like gotten the one down to a science, and then all of a sudden upset the apple cart by adding a second.
I had my first Jocelyn is what I guess people call a bait baby, where she slept like 20 hours a day for the first 3 years of her life. She never cried. She never spit up. She like pooped once a day, like 1 diaper change a day. It was like easier than having a dog, honestly. And this baby number 2, Heidi, is an actual baby.
Heidi of the mountains and shit.
What's that?
Heidi of the mountains. If her first word is not grandfather, I'm gonna be really
Yeah, Heidi Reifenberg. I don't know if there's a more German crowdish name, which was unintentional. We just like the name. Right. But yeah.
What do you got for us? And before we go there, hey, Charlottesville, Virginia. Me and Jay are coming there this week to make up for the gig that we missed during the oral sex tour when we got snowed out. So you could go see us at the Paramount this week, man. Tickets at csmod.com. Jay and Silent Bob, the oral sex tour makeup date, right there in Charlottesville, Virginia. Tickets at csmod.com. All right, Banff Man, take us there.
All right. I really liked this one. I don't have an answer for it, but Bob Perlitz asked, if John Wick was written about you, what would be the inciting incident?
What would they have to kill to make me angry for revenge?
Or what would they have to do?
I mean, honestly, like, is there a better motivator than killing the dog? I don't want them to do it, but like, if somebody took Shecky out, I mean, Shecky's now dead. The Lord took Shecky out, and I went after the Lord with a vengeance. I mean, of course, like, you know, my wife, my child, these things go without saying, but he was a killer who he found a little warmth with this dog, and then they took that from him and shit. I'm Kev-splaining the plot of John Wick. I don't know, man. That's tough. Like, other than the obvious of wife and kid, which he didn't have.
Like for me, I feel like it would be as if a movie studio took my restaurant away. I feel like that would be my inciting incident that would take me off.
That would make you go all sorts of ham.
I mean, it'd be a good start to a movie, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Just get like legions of cosplayers behind me.
I mean, I think some of it's wonky because not wonky's the wrong word, but like John Wick was an assassin, and so the inciting event to take him from retired assassin to assassin again is not as far as to turn me into a guy who kills a city full of people who is not an assassin. You know, like it's a far shorter trip for him to go from I gave up murder last week to I'm a murderer again.
What if it was though like you went back to being a journalist? Like what would be the inciting incident to bring you back to Entertainment Weekly?
Oh God. I mean, being broke would be the inciting incident for a lot of things.
Tariffs.
Seriously, I'll suck your dick. I'm so broke. But yeah.
God, what would I mean if somebody was like, you can't fucking watch Bullwinkle, because that's been my when shit gets dark, I can't tell you how many times I've watched the jet fuel episode, because it's like when you put all the chapters together, it runs like 2 hours long. One
Wow.
2 hour Rocky and Bullwinkle adventure. And you watch the animation get better over time too, over that length of the story. So if somebody was like, you can't have any of the Bullwinkle shit, honestly, that might be it. I mean, leaving out wife, kid, and dogs that I love. But I do spend a lot of my time looking for Bullwinkle shit on eBay, or fucking watching Bullwinkle or something like that, or lately writing Bullwinkle type things. So if somebody was like, no more Bullwinkle for you, that might make me go all sorts of wick.
Yeah, but I think that's the question. I think it was a slightly poorly framed question. In the what would it take to get you to work in a convenience store again? What would it take to get you to return to the
I see
that you
that's
left
better. Well, making a movie always makes me return to the convenience store. Being in New Jersey always makes me return to the convenience store. So it really wouldn't take much. My John Wick story would be somebody being like, hey, we need milk. And I'd be like, God damn it, I got to go back to the convenience store.
People keep on asking me if I'm back. I haven't known what to say. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm back because I needed this milk.
Let me tell you something. If I was back and I had to ring somebody up for a pack of cigarettes, and cigarettes now cost like $10, I would be sitting there going, don't do this. And not for your health, just because what a ripoff.
Do you ever
$2 a cigarette now or some shit?
Do you ever fantasize though about going back and having like the 9 to 5? Like I worked at Blockbuster Video. Yeah. And I find myself in a quiet moment now and then being like, man, on a Friday night, there's a line around the store, checking people out, making sure things got rewound, running over, checking the return box to see if American Beauty came in or whatever the hot movie was at the time. Do you ever get nostalgic for the job that you, like that first job that you had, that when you had it, it was the worst fucking job in the world, but now you're like, I would love to work at the YMCA again?
I think you've seen it at work throughout my entire career. I've made what, 3 fucking clerkses, not just one, but 3. If you go to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, there's a fake Quick Stop in the back of the store, including the real sign. Yeah, that's my fucking rosebud right there. That whole fucking convenience store. Quick Stop. And then I drop a fucking globe, a snow globe and shit. But it doesn't take much to get me back there. I always drive. Like when I'm back in Highlands, I will always at least drive past Quick Stop, whether it's at night or during the day, man, because like, to be great is to go on. To go on is to go far, and to go far is to return. It's a Zen koan, I believe. And I think it's important to reset all the time by going back to where it all began. And, not when things fall apart, just on a regular basis. I don't have the luxury of being in the place that created me all the time. I get to go there more than most people get to go to where they came from, or their power center, if you will, thanks to the events that we do at Smod Castle. But when I'm back in the area, like I definitely go back to all the places. I drive up to the high school, go to OLPH, the church that I went to, and the Catholic school that I went to and shit. it's important for me at least to always remember, like, not just this is where you came from, but this is why you do what you do. These people, these streets, this town, these relationships, the movie theater, the feeling of being from New Jersey, all of that is all part of it and stuff. So whenever I go back, man, you can't keep me away from Quick Stop. I think the Toppers once filed a fucking injunction against me, like, stay away, you fuck. But I like going back. So yeah, in that way, I wouldn't be John Wick.
I wish I could. I wish I could revisit that level of, I guess, detail's the wrong word, but most of those places from when I was a kid don't exist anymore. You know, like the movie theater that I grew up going to isn't there. The record store that I grew up going to isn't there. The pizzeria I go to in high school isn't there. The video store that I worked at is gone. Like, I think the Red Lobster that I worked at is not the same Red Lobster. All of that shit has just kind of been erased. So when I do go back to, you know, my hometown, it's just like, oh, because it's a dying town ultimately, as so many towns in Long Island are. It's like, oh, that used to be the big mall, and none of the stores are still here, and it's kind of empty, and all of those things are now whatever the fuck, like payday loan joints, or it's like I don't even know what the fuck they are, but they're not what they used to be. And so I have the nostalgia, but nothing to anchor it to, I think, which is weird.
Yeah, I think the older one gets, man, we do see all the places that we used to frequent go away.
Yeah.
And
Which is amazing because that guy's been running Quick Stop for how many years? Selling milk and ice cream bars, making a living. So crazy.
Yep. And guess what? It's a recession-proof business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and also no strikes, nothing like that, man. Fucking like Quick Stop. If I'd stayed at Quick Stop, it would have been slow and steady, but I might have won the race. Instead, I joined the rat race like a fucking idiot. I had it good at Quick Stop. Why did I leave? Oh yeah, for the money and the fame.
Money,
My
fame, power.
Completely escaped my attention. My bad. All right, next question.
All right. Victor Venn Diagram says Disney is doing live action for their animated films, but what about the reverse? What live action film might be a good animated movie or a better animated movie?
What live action film would be a better animated movie? This may be cheating, but like I worked on Buckaroo Banzai at one point, and at one point they were talking about doing it as an anime cartoon with Keanu Reeves as the voice of Buckaroo Banzai. And we went so far as for him and I to have a Zoom about it and shit. And I think that concept lends itself to an anime style that doesn't match what the movie was, but the subject matter and the characters and the story of Buckaroo Banzai could really lend itself to a vast animated universe. Not, you know, maybe not as big as Marvel, but pretty damn populated with cool characters and stuff. And they could get away with doing a lot more than they were able to do in that movie, which, to be fair, they did a lot with a very low budget and stuff. But, you know, the subtitle of Buckaroo Banzai was Across the Eighth Dimension. You know, it was about interdimensional travel. And that's, you know, fucking animation is well suited for that storyline. So that's the first one that leaps to mind. They did a live action Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, so I can't pick that. And they did a great job. That movie I thought was pretty damn good. Very true to the characters. But I would say Buckaroo Banzai. You, Mark?
I had a meeting at 20th Animation not that long ago. And they were like, are there any titles in the Fox library you think you might want to make a cartoon out of? And I was like, yeah, I want to do Big Trouble in Little China. And they were like, no. And I don't know why. It was such a very quick, immediate hard pass. I'm not sure if it's a John Carpenter of it. I'm not sure if there are rights issues. I'm not sure about anything, but I was like, fuck, this should be animated. This would be great if it was animated. I also think Flash Gordon would be kind of amazing animated. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, John Carter. Like, I think some of that like old pulp shit kind of should be animated and could be amazing with the right style and the right voice cast. Like, you could just go fucking nuts with it. I don't necessarily need, much as I appreciate seeing Sydney Sweeney on a screen, Barbarella ought to be a cartoon. It really shouldn't be a live action thing. But that's just me.
Like a heavy metal type cartoon.
Yeah, just fucking go for it.
What about you, Banff man?
Oh man, I don't know. I know a lot of cartoons I'd like to see live action, but live action as a cartoon. I mean, Big Trouble in Little China is a good. I mean, honestly, coming back to John Carpenter, like Escape from L.A., Escape from New York would both be good. Like movies that like they just couldn't quite that were bigger than they could do. Also, I think Yoga Hosers would make a really fun cartoon.
I'm all for it. You got any money?
Nobody does.
Yeah, that's the word. Fuck. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Fucking Big Trouble in Little China really does lend itself to like, oh my God, you can go way deeper, way further. And you don't have to worry about the age of the characters because in animation they're forever young. Good ideas. Good
Maybe
ideas.
like Warriors.
Warriors come out and play yet?
Yeah.
Did you ever listen?
I'm gonna take a huge swing. Say Sweeney Todd. Weekly animated series, Saturday morning. They don't make any Saturday morning cartoons anymore, do they?
There are no more, other than the Fox Sunday night cartoons. Nothing's temporarily locked anymore. There's no like you have to be watching on this day at this time to get it. So like there are no Saturday morning cartoons. Not the way we.
Animation seems to be kids animation seems to be going in a weird way lately. Like Max got rid of all their kid programming or animation stuff. Maybe not all of it, but they're dumping it, going like, kids aren't really watching this stuff. It's just it's crazy. Like something that used to be such a cartoons were made for kids, but today's generation of kids don't seem as interested in cartoons, and yet they make adult cartoons for us because we were raised on the cartoons. But I just don't see kids being as interested in cartoons. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a fucking kid around me. Well, Banff man, you got fucking two. They look at cartoons.
Yeah, my daughter watches. I I have YouTube Premium, and I went to cancel it, trying to save $20 a month, and I was like, "Are you sure you've watched 99,000 hours of commercial-free YouTube?" And I was like, "What the? I don't watch YouTube that much." And then what I realized is it's like, Little Bear and Shimmer and Shine and all the terrible CG animated kind of like, or Paw Patrol, right? Like Paw Patrol's always on in the background. But it's all that like kind of like low res CG now, like Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which is one of the better ones. So she does, but Jocelyn is like, she's mini me, like she's into the same like make believe fantasy crap that I was into growing up. So she's probably like, oh, dad watches cartoons all the time, I should watch cartoons.
Brian Christian says YouTube is the new TV, and somebody else was talking about kids have iPads now. Yeah. Is that where all kid cartoons have gone, to YouTube?
The secret of the streaming wars is that YouTube won. Honestly, they have more viewers than Netflix does, and they monetize it better than Netflix does because the ads are everywhere. They just don't do original programming anymore.
Yeah, they did at one point. They had YouTube Red. That's where fucking Cobra Kai came from.
Yeah, they spent like 2 or 3 years trying to chase that dragon, and then just like, what, we will just air other people's clips of shit. We don't need to produce anything. We can just still be the place where everybody goes to watch 8 minutes of something, or 15 minutes of something. And yeah, like my daughter just still watches fucking compilations of the Wiggles that only exist on fucking YouTube.
Do you pay for premium?
Nope.
I do.
Oh my God. I turned it off. I had it off for a day and a half. And I'd like search for something. And it's like, here's one result and 4 ads. And then one result and 4 ads. And then you watch an 8-minute Wiggles video. And there's like 3 ads every 3 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, that's the best $20 I've ever spent. Is on YouTube Premium.
Yeah, I've been premium for a few years now, and like periodically I'll be by my wife's computer and be like, "Can I show you something?" And I'll turn on her YouTube, and all of a sudden I'm watching an ad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's wrong with you?" Like all disgust in my face. How could you? So yeah, I never really deal with ads, but I spend an inordinate amount of time on YouTube. I had never heard that YouTube won the streaming wars, but when you said it, it hit a part of my brain where I was like, that absolutely fucking makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like YouTube is television. YouTube today is television for us when we were kids. Like there are no more networks. There's one place where you can go, the Great Salt Lick, and find everything you need.
Yeah, they just don't want awards. They don't want clout. They just
Just want our money.
calls.
They just want the transaction, man. They want the commercials and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's a premium package worth paying for. Not to be confused with the premium package worth paying for in the episode of Black Mirror, Common People. Good Christ.
Fuck.
Membership has never looked so horrifying.
And you definitely don't want the ads.
Oh, Jesus. Go watch. Do yourselves a favor, kids. It's Friday night. If you're watching like this show, like us, like you ain't nobody's favorite or first choice. So you've got fucking nothing going on tonight. Kick back and watch yourself that fucking Common People episode. Is that what it's called? Common People?
Yeah.
Of Black Mirror, the latest season. It is a dark fucking trip.
But do not go to sleep right after.
No, do.
No, cue up some fucking Parks and Rec. Or
yeah.
Or like
and quickly watch Rashida. Watch Rashida in something comforting because good God.
And you beautiful multi-ethnic unicorn. Watch that shit.
Whenever she's wonderful in this episode, and she's great in everything she does. I got to work with her. She was in Cop Out. She played Tracy Morgan's wife. But you know, whenever like I watch her in a thing, whoever I'm with, I'm like, you know, she wrote Toy Story 4. That's my Rashida Jones go-to fact. And people are like, what? I'm like, yeah. You don't fucking know Rashida Jones if you just know fucking Parks and Rec.
She did this episode. Amy Poehler has a new podcast called A Good Hang. And so she talks like Tina Fey and Quinta Brunson and Rashida Jones. And, you know, just was talking to Rashida about like, nobody knows how curious you are and how much that you've given yourself license to try almost everything. Like nobody knows you were a writer in residence at Pixar. And she was like, yeah, some of it was because my dad was my dad. And my dad was like so fucking tectonic when it came to culture. And trying to find room for myself led me to just chase whimsy, you know, and like, what do I want to do? I want to learn to do this. I want to try that, you know, steering clear of music. She was like, I was never going to do music, but I wanted to try writing. I wanted to try this. I wanted to try pottery. I wanted to try clothes design. I wanted to try whatever, which I thought was fascinating because I've never had to try to exist under the shadow of somebody like Quincy Jones.
Right.
You know, and how that shapes your idea of ambition when your dad was a prime mover of culture for a century.
I guess you're like, boy, I better write a Toy Story. To say the least. Fuck. Ben Bamboo in chat said, can I start Black Mirror with that episode, the one we're talking about? Absolutely.
Sure.
All of the Black Mirror episodes are standalone stories. It's an anthology series. So you can jump in any season, any episode, and not have missed anything.
Although you might want to watch the USS Callister before you watch the follow-up.
With the exception of that, as Mark pointed out, that's the only time they've really done a sequel, strictly a sequel. But generally speaking, you can dip in on any episode. And even Callister you could probably watch without having seen the first one. It just helps a great deal. Yeah, do it. You'll You'll be
I have
happy.
a question for you, Kevin.
Fire
And for
away,
you.
Mark.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and I because I think it's an interesting cultural thought, which is, what is a song that would make you so fucking amped that you'd run through a wall? Like, what is a song that you could play where you could guarantee a fucking speeding ticket because it just makes you somewhat just fucking juiced?
What a great question. You got an answer?
I mean, I do, but the thing that I started thinking about was that, like, there's a half dozen rock and roll songs that I could choose for that. Um, there's like one or two rap songs that feel that way to me. But as a kid of the 70s and 80s, black music specifically did not have that kind of energy. It was always like R&B. It was always Motown. It was always a little bit like more reserved. Like even early rap wasn't that fucking adrenalized until you got to Public Enemy, maybe, or Beastie Boys, maybe. But even then, it was still a little bit. It was never like fucking Firestarter from The Prodigy, or Pretender from Foo Fighters, or even Bombs Over Baghdad from Outkast. Like there are a couple of songs that, like, yeah, if I put on now, I run the risk of police interaction in a way I don't want. So I'm just curious, for each person that I run into, like, what's that song that makes you want to run through a wall?
I mean, let me pick a few because there's not one that's like, oh, this is my fight song, but like White Lines.
Mm.
Do bass. Especially like the long remix version that was in the Spike Lee movie 25th Hour during the dance club scene. It's like the dance version. Let's see, what's another power song for me? Shucks.
Yeah, Black Parade.
Yeah, I mean, I love Black Parade, but that won't make me drive through a wall. Scenes from an Italian restaurant, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah, because it gets real rapid at one point.
Yeah.
I like that song.
But the hammer goes down for Billy Joel.
Yeah, that's when I'm like, at least it's not Uptown Girl. I'm like, Uptown Girl. He was driving like a madman down the 405. I think I heard Uptown Girl screaming out his windows
as he jumped over a gully.
God damn, who knew that was his power song? He must really like Christy Brinkley. What do you got? What's yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think like fucking Who Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses. You Could Be Mine. I'm sorry, not Who Could Be Mine. Like I said, Pretender by Foo Fighters. The theme to Cowboy Bebop would also send me fucking careening out of control.
That's a jam.
That's a jam.
Look at my Spotify and see what I played a lot.
What about you, JC? What do you
got? Separate Ways by Journey would probably be top.
Shit. Wow.
And then my daughter's in T-ball, and they play as a 4-year-old. They have walk-up music when they go up to the plate now, and she was trying to figure out what to play.
Do they really? They play walk-up music? That's
pretty dope, so they'll say, now batting number 10, Jocelyn Reifenberg, and they'll play her song. And we were trying to figure it out, and she loves Nightmare Before Christmas. I was like, do you want, this is Halloween? She's like, no, I want the song, the Princess Peach song. I was like, Peaches, Peaches, Peaches? She goes, no. The one where Peach is doing the obstacle course. I was like, which? She's like, Hero? I was like, oh my God, Holding Out for a Hero? So like, that's her jazz song. Like when my 4-year-old wants to get going, she puts on Bonnie Tyler. I could see, like, I remember when I was her age watching Footloose during the tractor race scene with Kevin Bacon, hearing that song, and it always stuck with me. So I would do Holding Out for Separate Ways, number 1, and then Holding Out for a Hero would be number 2.
I like it, man. I got here. I'll pull something for you, man. I Wonder If I Take You Home by Lisa and Cult Jam.
Ooh,
Come on, that's a fucking fire song.
that's a jam.
I wonder if I take you home, would you still
still
be
be
in
in
love,
love,
baby?
baby?
If I Ever Leave This World Alive by Flogging Molly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough song not to sing along to. Let's see, what else?
Oh yeah, Will Wilkins says You're the Best from Karate Kid.
You're the best around. I love Let's Groove by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And September by Earth, Wind, and Fire as well.
Oh, that's
Body, say that you remember. Body, dancing in September.
yeah, it's Nowhere Fast from Streets of Fire.
Oh, fuck, yes.
Adam Sacafio.
Yes, that is an excellent fucking poll. You and me, we're going nowhere slowly, and we gotta get away from the past. There's nothing wrong with going nowhere, baby, but we should be going nowhere fast. And the other one's a great song too. What's the other song?
Oh, is that I Need a Hero?
Oh, no, it's Tonight is what it means to be young. Tonight is what it means. Fuck that. Those are 2 songs that would make
Let the
me
music begin, let the revels be started.
We're dancing for the restless and the broken hearted. Rocky Top. I know this is a completely 180, but fucking, the song Rocky Top.
I do not know that.
It's there are a few different people that have covered it. Conway Twitty did a pretty wonderful cover of it, but it's about Rocky Top. You'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee. It's a country and western song, clearly Tennessee. But there's some fire lyrics in it about people getting killed at the top of Rocky Top and shit. And how they make moonshine up there. But it's pretty like let's see what else we got. That reminds me of my dad, though. That's why that does it for me.
Oh yeah. Fucking any Spider-Verse songs? Hell yeah. What's Up, Danger?
That one that you love. Yeah, What's Up, Danger? Ain't My Type of Hype by Full Force. Sweet Love by Anita Baker. No, I'm kidding.
Dude.
Jam.
It's a fucking jam.
I wouldn't drive my car through a wall, but that song plays, I will stop no matter where I am and sing it.
That is a song where like I need to slow down and put the windows down and just kind of fucking drive into my emotions when Sweet Love hits it.
Oh yes.
I'm a little bit too old for this, but we have it at the bar, and it's something that always gets the bar going crazy. Is the Pokemon theme song.
That's funny. Pokemon. Whatever It Takes from Degrassi.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Here's a weird, wild one, man, out of left field. Catch Me, I'm Falling. Pretty Poison.
Pretty Poison.
I Want to Dance with Somebody by the late.
That's such a good song.
It really is, man. You've got to be a fucking Nazi robot to not be moved by that song. I'm not even like into dance music, but that's such a ebullient fucking song. She just wants to dance with somebody who loves her, man.
I used to play that and dance with Jocelyn when she was a baby in the mornings when Jen would sleep in.
I wish I was your fucking kid. My father never danced to Whitney Houston with me, ever.
Which is probably okay.
Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, some Lenny Kravitz in there for me. Like, Are You Gonna Go My Way, Fly Away, or Killer.
There's a lot of like fucking power tracks in my playlist, man. Everything's like soft and mopey and shit.
Well, you are an emo kid.
I guess. Gotta turn that around.
I mean, the other, again, this is so like kind of not me, but if it comes on, I'll never turn it off. Is like, was it Believe by Cher?
Oh, fuck yeah, man. What is it? If you believe in life after love. What was the song I just had? Oh, fucking Thunder Road by Springsteen. But that's a New Jersey thing. You can't be from New Jersey, hear one of them Springsteen songs about like, let's get the fuck out of New Jersey and not be moved by it. One of my favorite things he's ever done, Bruce Springsteen, was I saw him at that Broadway show and shit. And he was just like, you know, I wrote Born to Run because I had to get out of Jersey, and I ran, you know, all the way from Freehold to where was he, to Rumson. Like that's where he
I was born to run about half an hour down 35.
Essentially that's what he was talking about. It's awesome, man. It's funny. Breaking, there's no stopping us. Come on, man. No stopping us. No stopping.
Ain't no stopping us.
Baker Street is a fucking badass jam by Jerry Rafferty. Not like, you know, fucking let's drive a car through a wall, but
basically it's the I'm looking for the you're jumping over the gully song. That's what you want on your car. Is that the fucking Los Angeles River beneath us?
All right, here's mine. If I have to jump the Los Angeles River, I'm listening to Suzanne Vega's Tom's Diner a cappella. Not even the one with the fucking backing track where she's just fucking singing it dry. I like hold on, where's the I mean, there's the Offspring always fucking get me. There's got to be a fucking Offspring song that would
There's not one song we've mentioned that is less than 30 years old.
Is that right?
Like if we mentioned
fucking What's Up Danger, that was relatively new.
Yeah, we got one.
Yes, we did get one. Find Your Way Back, we used that in Clerks 3, Jefferson Starship.
Donald Light is like the song from Blade when they're in the nightclub.
Yeah.
Fucking bloodlust.
Take On Me by Aha. That'll always get me.
Yeah.
It occurs to me, I don't
My
go.
wife chimed in with I want to be sedated by the Ramones.
My Hero Zero, Schoolhouse Rock.
I mean, the Pointer Sisters counting to 12 song from Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh
10,
yeah.
12.
Causing a Commotion by Madonna. My God.
5s and 7s by Queens of the Stone Age. I'm down for that. Oh no, 3s and 7s. My bad. I got 5 on it.
What about the clapping song? Do you know the clapping song by Shirley Ellis?
Are you gonna get us pulled off the internet by playing copyrighted music?
Ah! There's only a few seconds. Here's my review. What a great song.
I mean,
yeah, I don't have a lot of fucking like power anthems in my playlist. Oh, fucking Kid and Play Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. You can't stop me from listening to that song.
that's strong. Oh, Neutron Dance.
It's a good poll. Wouldn't be for me, but that's a good poll.
I'm
not saying this is a jam that I would drive through a wall for, but when was the last time you listened to Harper Valley PTA?
Almost never.
Fucking good song. Story song. It works. A little corn pony, but it totally works.
It's not The Show by Slick Rick, which is
oh my God. There. I will drive through a fucking wall for the show. Excellent poll right there. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. On. I also like by Slick Rick, Mona Lisa. I will never turn that song on. You know, like the painting. You know, like the picture. Anyway, I'd like to bobble for his divine majesty.
All right. Should we take a third question? It
Oh, that was the third question.
was just my question. That wasn't.
That counts. Fucking counts, man. Sometimes you need to ask the question. Chat has lit up with all sorts of suggestions, man.
Yeah, there's not going to be any question that tops that one.
That's fire right there. And it got everybody involved. That's a great question. A great question is a bunch of people playing along, man. Batman Beyond, says Will Wilkins, bringing you the hits of the 80s and the 90s. That's right.
Wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee bow wow, yippee yo.
We have in our bedroom we have a Samsung TV, and they have the like Samsung freebie channels. And so we'll be like, do you guys want to watch? I'll be like, Jen, you want to watch a movie tonight? And so we'll turn on the TV, and it defaults to Excite, which is Xite, and it's always hits of the 80s. And so we'll be like, it'll come up, and it'll be any number of the songs we just mentioned. And we'll be like, oh, let's just watch this one. And he'll be like, coming up next, Billy Joel sings this. And then we'll watch the next one, and it's been like 90 minutes, and then we'll be like, all right, I guess we're not watching a movie tonight. And turn off the TV and go to bed. But I watch music videos all the time on the like freebie Samsung channel.
It's so weird because there was a time when that's all we did. Like we shaped our day around the watching of music videos. Life goes on.
Dennis DeMercurio goes, Mark wins tickets to a 4DX theater. Hey, speaking of relevant to this show, Revenge of the Sith, I think, is going to be in 4DX.
Is that right?
They're re-releasing it. It's the 20th anniversary. I think,
May, right?
Yeah, in May. I think we're going to get to do that. It's like, I mean, like, not necessarily the three of us, but as a society, I think we'll get to go and watch The Fall of a Republic in 4DX. And then we'll be able to go outside and witness a Fall of a Republic in 4DX.
Yes. Inside and outside. In the real world or in space.
One of them's going to have laser swords and lava. The other...
Tariffs.
Yeah.
The people in chat are still throwing out song names, and WTF Rocks said, can't say it enough. River Deep, Mountain High by Tina Turner, best song ever recorded. He said, that is a fucking fire song.
It is a jam. Phil Spector production.
River, Wall of Sound, right?
Yeah.
River Deep, Mountain High. What a good time, man. You know, could have been upstairs having sex, but I'm okay with this. This is a good way to spend a Friday night.
I mean, if we wrap it early enough, you still can go upstairs.
Yeah, why not both, as the little girl used to say.
Keep the hot side hot and the cold side cold.
Very true. Kids, did you have a good time tonight? Hanging out, talking geeky shit and whatnot? Well, we sure did. Thanks for being here with us. Fat Man Beyond on a Friday night. Don't forget, Dogma, the Resurrection Tour, is happening from 4/20 on to 5/20. It's a month of me going to 20 cities across America, showing Dogma, doing Q&A and stuff. Tickets at dogmamovie.com. But if you missed that, don't worry. You're going to be able to see Dogma in a movie theater near you, any UA theater, more than that, man. Like there's UA theaters. My God, what am I, stuck in the 70s? AMC theaters and shit. But I hear there are more theaters joining up as well. So more when we know it, but pay attention to dogmamovie.com. You can always find tickets there, or iconicevents.com, their website as well. Charlottesville, Virginia, me and Jay will be there next week. So you can get tickets. We'll be with the Paramount. Get tickets at cspot.com. What else I got? Beardless, Dickless Me podcast I do with Harley. Available on iHeart.
You too are welcoming a new child into the family.
That's right, man. Fucking how we run it in our world, Mark, is first you got to be in one of my movies, then you can marry my daughter. So yes, congratulations to Harley. A couple weeks ago, this happened. Her and Austin got married. The lead from the 4:30 movie.
Well, got engaged. Unless you're
sorry, yeah, they didn't get.
Did I miss a thing?
I'd jump in the gun there. If Jennifer heard that, she'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." She was like, "It's not going to be for 2 years and stuff." So yes, they got engaged. They will be. They are off fianced, as they say. We're all very happy for the kids.
Yeah.
But I'm busy selling shit. Fuck them kids. What else do I got to sell you? I don't know. Dogma is the big thing. The big thing. The biggest thing, man. Can't believe it. Doing it again.
Get out there.
Just like they say on one of our favorite programs, Battlestar Galactica, this has all happened before. Will all happen again.
Shake your ass.
Thank you for selling out the shows as you have, kids. That means the absolute world. And I'll be seeing you when we head off on tour. I think it's a week from Sunday. Yeah, it's a week from this Sunday. Tour begins in Los Angeles and then on from there. Tickets at dogmamovie.com. Kids, there ain't no fucking show without Banff Man putting us together, man. Thank you, Banff Man.
Hey, is it Dogma starting on Easter Sunday? April 20th is Easter Sunday. Clever.
Which is also 420.
Which is also 420.
Not to forget about the cruise.
Thank you, Mark. Good God, man. Kids, 2026, February 2026, the Cruise Askew 2. We're hitting the high seas, man. A different route this time. Where are we going?
Mexico.
That's right. From Tampa to Mexico. 4 days. Last year, it was 3 days for the 2024 cruise. 2026 is going to be 4 fun-filled days. Join me and Jay and Mark and Ralph and a host of others, man. I don't know who they've announced, so I don't want to spill anything. But the same people who were there last year, you can count on being there, and then plus other people and whatnot. We'll be doing Fat Man Beyond there like we did last time. Mm-hmm. And then we're also building plans for Chronicon in October. Chronicon number 2. You know, it's very special that I get to do weird things like that, kids, and that has everything to do with you. Thank you for your continued support, liking the shit we do. I'll try to wrap up within the next few years so you don't have to do this for the rest of your life.
Sure, Kev.
I just want to get to year 37 in the comic book store. That's about 9 years away, so...
We just had our 8th birthday at Scum and Villainy last
Get out
Sunday.
Of here.
Yeah.
Look at that shit.
8 years.
Tell them this was a bar. It was a pop-up bar. It was only supposed to be for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's become your whole fucking life.
8 years, yeah. Wild.
Pretty damn awesome, man.
Also, if you like hearing me talk about Star Wars, I've got a Star Wars podcast called Pod of Rebellion with iHeart. If you guys want to check that out, rewatching Star Wars Rebels with the cast.
Nice.
I come on at the end and fact check everybody. Deep dives on the planet Kessel and Blastech DL-44 blasters and just the nerdiest stuff on Earth that made me really cool in high school. I talk about.
That is, look at that, kids. You could love something so much that you can gravitate toward a life that is just knee deep in that thing. JC loved those Star Wars pictures that nobody ever saw, and now his whole life is kind of about it with a non-Star Wars themed bar. This is what I'm manifesting. Kids, I'm going to be doing a panel April 19th. I forgot to mention that. April 19th out here in Los Angeles in the Valley at Van Eaton Galleries, man. We're doing a Jay Ward retrospective panel the day before the Dogma tour starts. You go to vaneatongalleries.com and get tickets. Even if you're not here in LA, you could watch it online and stuff. It can be a good time. As you can see, I'm a Bullwinkle fan. Is that over my shoulder this side? Where the fuck is my... Whatever, it's behind me. It's everywhere. So I'm hoping like JC that one day I open a Bullwinkle bar, but a non-Bullwinkle bar so I don't get sued and shit. A moose adjacent bar. It's not Bullwinkle as much as a moose head and a stuffed squirrel. People draw their own conclusions. Gotta have a dream.
You got a dream. I'm going to be at a convention in Prince George, British Columbia.
Look at you. They're going up to Canada. Let us know how they receive Americans now.
I know. I'm very curious.
I think you're going to be received very well, but they might have a thing or two to say about our administration.
I'm sure they will. Which I do not fault them for having a thing or two to say. But yeah, I'm going to Northern FanCon up in Prince George, May 3rd and 4th. I'll be there. I think I'm going to be interviewed for this Michael Hogan documentary that the organizers are filming. Michael Hogan, if you remember, was Colonel Saul Tigh on Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Who suffered a catastrophic brain injury not too long ago. And has been like slowly rehabbing himself back to health.
Wow.
And it's been kind of a wonderful thing to see, and to see the sort of Battlestar family rally around him and support him, and him gaining the ability to kind of walk and talk and maybe even work again. But yeah, the organizer of the convention, a guy named Norm Coyne, has made this documentary called Good to Be Seen. And he's right now looking for distribution, but I think he's going to shoot me to talk about Michael Hogan, and I love Michael Hogan, so I'm happy to do it and happy to go back north because those people are always super fucking nice to me. So if you're in the Western Canadian regions, come say hi. Northern FanCon, beginning of May.
Canada, come out and see Mark.
Go and say
Mark will tell you a story to your face.
I will.
He's a
I'll tell you what's wrong with Justice League again at a bar.
You'll meet him and he'll be like, I'm Marc Bernardin. You're like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a writer. And then you could be like, do it. And he'll fucking do it right in front of you.
I swear to God, I'll do it. I swear. Go to TV, I'll write you a goddamn poem.
Would you like a series Bible? I can write that for you right now. Kids, if you enjoyed yourselves tonight, it's because the guy who does all the smart saying of stuff, that would be the one, the only Marc Bernardin. Give it up. The fabulous Marc Bernardin, kids.
Thank you.
There is your fat man. Hey, I'm going to do what they do. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and this is what we never fucking do. See that fucking like button? Smash like and subscribe, kids. I ain't ending the show until I watch the likes climb right now. I'm watching in real time.
Are they smashing it?
No, I'm bored. Let's end the show. I can't wait.
I get no time for real time.
Hit like and subscribe, kids. Don't forget to tell your friends and whatnot. There it is. There's your. Hey, I started a new thing, which I'm going to be doing like every Monday. Is the box office report from Smodcastle.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you like the top movies at Smodcastle and tell you how many tickets we sold. So like the last week, it was like we sold 475 tickets to the Minecraft movie. Total for 5 days that we're open, because we're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So the number 2 movie was that Bill Murray movie, The Friend, I think. And that sold 45 tickets for the whole week.
5 days.
5 days.
So 9 tickets a day.
If that. Might have had like a busy weekend and shit. Stragglers. But yeah, if you're ever like, I wish I owned a movie theater, I'd be rich. You could wish you owned a movie theater, but you will not be rich. It's a real monkey paw kind of affair. You know, you get what you wanted, but it ain't what you thought. Shit. But yes, although we do have almost 5 sold out screenings of Dogma for the Dogma Resurrection Tour at Smodcastle. So if you can't, if you're like, hey man, the movie ain't coming to my neck of the woods, but I want to see it with you, come see it with me at my movie theater. Oh, it'll be good times. Kids, there it is, man. It means the world that you spend some time with us. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, my friends. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's Kiss, dogmamovie.com. This is the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything. Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Cheers, if you